Good afternoon, members of the Fourth Estate. My name is Njeri Maina, the County MP for Kirinyaga, and I'd like to issue a statement on the political violence in Kirinyaga County. The events of 23rd August 2026 must concern every resident of Kirinyaga. Regardless of political affiliation, what should have been an ordinary political activity descended into violence, intimidation, and fear, leaving several people injured and communities shaken. We must confront this before it becomes normalized. In Kirinyaga, for instance, several people were injured during the violence, including one person who reportedly sustained a critical, life-threatening knife wounds. The incident was reported to the police under OB number 17/26/08/2026. In Kiangombe, women who had come in large numbers to receive His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, the second Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya and the DCP party leader, were reportedly physically assaulted, threatened with further violence, and left fearful for their safety. That incident was similarly reported under OB number 29/26/08/2026. These are not minor political disagreements. Assault, intimidation, and the use of weapons have no place in democratic competitions. There is also video material which I previously circulated publicly, appearing to show buses transporting groups of people to the area before individuals disembarked and joined the surging campaign crowd. Witness accounts and other material in opposition have raised serious questions about who transported these individuals, who facilitated their presence, and who subsequently directed their activities. Certain local individuals have consequently been positively identified as persons of interest. The information available to us will be shared with the relevant investigative authorities. Questions must be asked. Serious allegations have been raised regarding the possible role of Wangui Ngirici, her political network, and individuals associated with her gubernatorial campaign. Questions have similarly been raised concerning the involvement of her husband, Andrew Ngirici. These allegations must be investigated thoroughly, independently, and without fear or favor. They should neither be dismissed because of political connections, nor treated as proven before investigators establish those facts. What is unacceptable, however, is silence. If the National Police Service and the DCI have received witness accounts, reports, video material, and information identifying persons of interest, the people of Kirinyaga deserve to know what action has been taken since that day. Have the owners and operators of the buses identified been questioned? Who hired those buses? Who paid for them? Where did the passengers board? Who received and directed them after they arrived? Have the individuals captured in the available footage been identified and interviewed? Have statements been taken from the injured persons and the women who say they were assaulted and threatened? Most importantly, have the investigators followed the evidence to where it leads? Those are questions that I, as a Member of Parliament for Kirinyaga County, demand a thorough investigation and a report on the same. We must ask, who is protecting political violence? The critical question: there has been increasingly dangerous precedent in this country that law enforcement agencies become hesitant whenever allegations of violence touch politically connected individuals. That perception is poisonous to democracy. The NPS and the DCI must therefore demonstrate through their actions that there is not one law for ordinary Kenyans and another for politicians and their cronies who enjoy proximity to power. Questions have also circulated about whether Ms. Ngirici enjoys political protection from powerful quarters. If those suggestions are false, there's a straightforward way of dispelling the same. conduct an independent investigation and let the evidence speak for itself. If she and her associates had nothing to do with the violence, an impartial investigation is all we are demanding to establish that. If evidence demonstrates that any person, regardless of political status, wealth, family connections, or proximity to State House, planned, financed, transported, facilitated, or participated in violence, then that person must face the full wrath of the law. That is what equality before the law, as envisaged in the Constitution, means. I want to issue an even broader warning. We cannot allow Kirinyaga to become a little Haiti, a place where organized groups of violent young men gradually become instruments for settling political disputes, intimidating communities, and controlling the political landscape. Political violence rarely begins with an entire county descending into lawlessness. It begins with a few hired goons. Then comes the buses. Then comes the weapons. Then politicians begin maintaining permanent groups of young men who can be deployed against their opponents. Soon, residents become afraid to attend meetings. Women become afraid to express their political choices. Young people are recruited into violence instead of productive livelihoods. Candidates begin surrounding themselves with gangs. Elections cease to be a contest of ideas and become a contest of violence. That road leads nowhere good for this great county and the entire republic. Kirinyaga must reject it now. We must never reach to a point where politicians believe that the size of their gang determines the strength of their campaign. Our mothers should be able to attend political meetings without fear of assault. Our young people should be able to support candidates of their choice without intimidation. Every candidate should be able to campaign everywhere and anywhere in Kirinyaga County without having to assemble a private army for protection. A warning must be issued to those recruiting our youth. I also want to speak directly to the young people being recruited into these political gangs. Do not allow politicians to convert your unemployment, frustration, or financial difficulties into weapons against your neighbors. The politician who gives you money today to attack a fellow Kirinyagan, a fellow Kenyan, will have security around themselves and their family when violence escalates. It is ordinary Kenyans who will be arrested, injured, or killed. Your future, dear young people, is worth more than a politician's campaign. Political competition is not war. The contests that will be happening next year for the seats of governor, woman representative, senator, MP, MCA, and presidential is not a license to terrorize the citizens of Kirinyaga County and the citizens of Kenya. Kirinyaga belongs to all of us. Wangui Ngirici is entitled to campaign. Her opponents are equally entitled to campaign, without intimidation, without violence. Every aspirant is entitled to canvass across this county, seeking the people of Kirinyaga to elect them. And every resident, likewise, is entitled to decide whom to support without being beaten, threatened, or intimidated. Nobody owns Kirinyaga's political landscape, not even I. That is why I call upon the IG of police and the DCI to ensure that the incidents of 23rd August are investigated comprehensively and transparently. The people will decide whether to vote for someone who has the intellectual capacity to run and manage the affairs of this county, or to vote for someone who is an intellectual dwarf. They shall decide whether to vote for someone who has a grasp of the agricultural economics, or one who undermines key agricultural backbones of this great county. They shall decide whether to vote for a leader who propagates violence, or one who shall work with security agencies to protect our women, children, and enhance security collectively. It is their choice to make, and they must not be subjected to violence for exercising their constitutional rights. Kirinyaga will not be governed through fear. We will disagree politically. We will campaign vigorously. We will compete for the support of our people. But we must draw one unmistakable line. No gangs, no knives, no hired goons, no intimidation, no political violence. We must shun this culture while we can. Rest we go the Homa Bay way. Kirinyaga, I insist, must not become a little Haiti. Thank you. May God bless you. May God bless the great lands of our ancestors, Kirinyaga, and may He bless Kenya.
Can you comment what is happening in Nairobi?
I think it's very unfortunate to see the events happening in CBD, Nairobi County, that traders came to demand to be heard by the government, to exercise their right to picket under our constitution, Article 37. And then they have been faced with police brutality. I have seen tear gassing, and yet they have the right to do so. When I saw the early images in the morning, those traders were not armed with knives. They did not have any weapons. They did not have any rungus. They had merely come out to exercise Article 37 of the Constitution, to think that the government, instead of having a conversation with them, instead of having dialogue with them, as I have seen the president going around and having interviews, purporting to speak on key matters of national importance, instead of engaging them in a conversation, it is unfortunate they have been treated to what we call suppression of their rights and freedoms. I had raised that issue in Parliament. When I spoke in regard to the 2026 finance bill, I did say that what has been passed will have a trickle-down effect on the cost of importing goods in Kenya. And I insist, majority of our traders do consolidation. It is therefore unfortunate that the very government that those people put in power is now even suppressing them economically. They have a right, and we demand that the DCI, NPS address that matter. We know Murkomen has already said that he does not care, and clearly Kenyans are on their own. And if then he has no capacity to address the same, let him step down. There are other people who can take the job and do it right. Thank you.